Hi, and blessed Imbolc, it's Luna. I wanted to talk a little bit today about the holiday that I'm celebrating and all the crafts that I'm doing and just a little bit about how my day is going. I wanted to do a vlog, but I ended up spending most of the day cleaning and I didn't really think that that was super interesting for you guys to watch. So you're catching me now. It's probably like 2 or 3 o'clock right now. So let's get started. So Imbolc means in the belly or use milk. It's usually around the time when the first lambs are starting to be born and the mothers are giving milk. So this is a time of celebration for that. Imbolc occurs calendrically on February 1st or 2nd, depending on, what day you want to celebrate. And astrologically, when the sun enters the midpoint of Aquarius. Sorry, I've got notes, so I'm kind of like cheating a little bit. It represents the halfway point between winter and spring. It is a time to turn from winter's introspection to spring's fresh action. It's also a time for purification, cleansing, just kind of like that fresh newness, like all the cold weather is starting to go away. People are wanting to spend more time outside, and you feel that breath of fresh air with spring coming. Spring's not here yet, but you know that it's on its way. You've made it through the worst parts of winter. It is also the celebration for the Celtic goddess Brigid, or Breed, depending on however you want to pronounce it. I pronounce it Brigid. She is the hearth and home goddess. She is also the goddess of smithcraft, fire, spring, and a whole bunch of other stuff. She's a really cool goddess. She's somebody that I am working with personally right now. And so this day is kind of really cool because it's a huge day for her. It's also a really big day because this is the first Sabbath that I am celebrating. I started to do things for Yule, but that didn't really work out. And every year, as part of my goals, I want to celebrate the Sabbats and the Esbats. And this year I am actually starting to do that. It's also really cool because yesterday morning, was the super cool blood moon, blue moon, like the blue blood moon. It was the second full moon in January, and it was also a blood moon, and it was also a super moon. So you had all of these things going on at once, and it was also a lunar eclipse, which was just crazy. Like, there was so much energy packed into that moon. It was awesome. And I was really upset because I wanted to get up and watch it, but I didn't wake up in time, so I was really, really upset that I had kind of like missed it. So I wanted to also really put my efforts into celebrating today because I have a rare day off. My schedule is such that like my days are always changing, and I didn't ask for today off, but I just happened to get it off, so I thought that was really cool, like the timing. And now I am getting ready to do some crafts. I have 2 crafts planned that I want to show you, and so I'm going to get my camera set up, move some things around, and start to show you the crafts that I'll be making, and hopefully you decide that you want to make them too for a future Imbolc. I know that this video is going to come up after Imbolc is over just because I'm filming it today, about today, and it's probably going to take me longer than it should to edit because I haven't edited a video in a while. So let me get some things situated and I'll be right back. Okay, so the first craft that we're going to start out with is called the God's Eye or Breed's Eye. This is used for house blessings. This can also be used as a form of protection because it's kind of like God is watching over you. It's sort of like a dream catcher. You make it out of popsicle sticks. I got these at the dollar store. They came like 50 in a pack, but you only need 2 of them. And you can either hot glue them in the center like I did, or you can just lay them both together and tie your knot directly around them. The second thing you will need is a pair of scissors, and that's just for cutting the yarn. The third thing that you will need is your choice of yarn. I picked this one up from Walmart for, I believe, $1. I really liked it because it had kind of like the Christmassy going into like Imbolc theme of the whites, the reds for fire, and then the greens for grass. This really just spoke to me as a really good Imbolc yarn. It's also going to look really cool because it's different colors that, like, once you wrap it, you'll get all of the different colors around it. Okay, so I'm going to try to angle my camera in such a way that you can see what I'm doing next. Okay, so you start out with your choice of popsicle stick designs. Improvisation, everyone. Using scissors to hold up my camera so that you can see this properly and in focus. Focus, come on, focus. Of course, everything else is in focus. Okay, so at this point, you want to just wrap it around the center a couple of times. This will keep the yarn steady. You also want to make sure that once you've wrapped it the first time, you've knotted it in the back. This will keep it secure. And then you just wrap it a few times around the center to build it up. And then you want to start weaving your way around the outside. I'm just doing a really basic design of looping it. I hope you can see this. Of looping it around one time, each of the popsicle sticks, before I move on to the next one. And then I'll go ahead when I'm done with the actual one that I'm going to build, not the test one that I've made, to show you guys how to make this. I'll go ahead and insert some pictures of the one that I've actually made so you can see the final product. So that is how you make a breed's eye. And again, that can be used for home protection or a house blessing, something like that. I was reading while I was looking up the instructions on how to make this project because I saw the idea in a book, but I found a website where somebody had made one and had a really good tutorial. If I can find the link, I'll link it in the bottom. She was talking about how this craft also has Mexican origins, and when a child is born, the father will start the eye, like start the center of the eye, and then every year for the child's life, they will add one layer to the god's eye, so like one rotation. And I thought that that was really cool. You have all these years of a built-up magical object. The next craft that I wanted to do is a birdseed ornament. Because it's spring and because the birds are coming back now from being down south, I figured it was a good idea to make a birdseed so that they would have something to eat, especially for the ones that are still here locally. I found this really cool dollar hanger that I'll show you guys to stake out in my like 2" by 2" front yard. I live in an apartment complex and like that's literally the space in front of my apartment before the sidewalk starts. But it's just enough space to hang the bird feeder, so I thought that would be a good place for it. So I will put the ingredients list here, and then we're gonna take a trip into my kitchen to get started on those. So the first thing that you're going to need for the birdseed ornaments is obviously birdseed. I just picked up this wild bird feed. It was like $3 at Walmart, and it's a huge amount. I'm not going to use nearly all of this, but it'll be nice to make them again in the future to have this readily available. I can also make it an offering when I go outside. So that's a good idea. I hadn't really thought about that before now, but now I have it. The second thing you're going to need is a package. Oh my god. There we go. Okay, is a package of unflavored gelatin. I got mine at Walmart, so it's just the basic Great Value brand, but you'll just need one package of that. Some straws. You'll need like literally one of these, but they come in giant packs of 100, so now I've got 100 straws. I think this is the last thing you'll need. Nope, there's one more thing. Is some cookie cutters. I got these also at Walmart. They're the Wilton baking ones. They have like this nice grip on it, so I can use these again. But I got a star because I thought, you know, pagans, we love stars. I got a flower because it reminded me of springtime, and a butterfly. just because I thought it was pretty. So I'm gonna probably end up making 3 of these to hang on my little birdseed hanger thingamajig. And then you're gonna need water also, but water is pretty much available everywhere, so didn't include it here. And you're going to need twine. I just got like this basic stuff also from like the crafty section in Walmart. So pretty much everything you were going to need for this project you can find in Walmart pretty easily. I got the bird seed from the gardening section and everything else from like the crafting and or food section. I think that's everything for the bird seed ornament. We're gonna head into my kitchen now. Okay, so I would love for this to be one of those beautiful moments where everything goes according to plan. But welcome to the improvisational cooking show that is my kitchen trying to make these ornaments. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna start out with is a 1/4 cup of water. I didn't have a 1/4 cup, I had 1/3 of a cup. So we guessed. And excuse the overly sized pot. Clearly it's overkill, but that's all I had to work with. Excuse my dirty kitchen also, I haven't really had time to clean, like scrub everything down. I also have no idea how much this is going to make, so we're gonna find out. Basically stirring until the gelatin's pretty much dissolved. So we'll come back in a few minutes due to movie magic when it's finally dissolved, so you don't have to watch me stir. So that only took a couple of seconds based on the oversized pot that I was using. I'm using this giant spaghetti pot, basically because it's the only thing I had in my kitchen right now. So we brought it to a simmer and then let the gelatin completely dissolve. Now we're letting it cool for a minute while we wait for the gelatin to cool. Then we'll be adding, that was redundant, that was entirely redundant. We're waiting for the gelatin to cool before we add the 3/4 of a cup of bird seed, which I have already poured. Yay, go me. So that looks pretty cool. We're gonna go ahead and dump this in, and then I'm gonna go figure out what the next direction is. So basically at this point, now that we've added the bird seed, we're going to stir it, and you're basically coating the bird seed to get it wet, and that's the next step. One of the things that I've done preemptively before I go ahead and add the bird seed to the cookie cutters is I've cut 2 straws in about 2-inch lengths. These are going to be used as the holes where you string the ornament. And I went ahead and cut these already so that as soon as we poured the birdseed mixture, we can just go ahead and stick them down in. You'll see that in a second. I've also laid out my cookie cutter tray with all of my cookie cutters in it. And I forgot the wax paper. Wax paper is probably highly recommended. I'm probably gonna regret making this mess, but we're gonna try it. So next thing you're gonna see is all of the bird seed already in the cookie cutters because it's too hard to handle filming a camera and trying to dump them all in. Okay, see you in a second. Okay, welcome back. Even though it's been a second for you, it's been about a couple minutes for me. I didn't have enough for all 3 cookie cutters, probably because the butterfly was so big. If you use smaller cookie cutters, you'll probably be able to get more out of them, or you can just go ahead and make another gelatin packet with the water if you have enough bird seed, because there's probably like 4 or 5 gelatin packets in the gelatin packet thing. But anyway, back to the cookie cutters. So at this point, I've packed them down pretty tight, and I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take the segments of my straw and stab it all the way through like that. And you're gonna let these dry overnight. That I didn't realize. I thought they like took like maybe a couple hours. But you're gonna let these sit overnight, checking on them occasionally while they harden. But pretty much that's it. Once these are dry, I'm going to take the straw out, obviously, and I'm gonna put the twine in, and then past that, they're ready to go. And I'll try to take pictures of it hanging on the birdseed hanger when I get the chance. Okay, other than that, you're good to go. Enjoy. Also, the other thing that I wanted to show you guys, excuse the stuffed animals in the corner. My apartment's really small, so things are hard to hide. This is my altar setup. I've just had this basic cloth forever. My mom got it for me. So because it was white, I figured it was like appropriate. I want to eventually make one, but I just didn't have time because I decided to celebrate Imbolc like last minute. And this is my elements tree. I got it 75% off at Michael's. And it's my elements tree because it has one color for each of the elements. We've got water over here, fire, air, earth, and spirit. And I just thought that it was really cool, and that's how I invite the elements when I'm just doing a basic working, so that they can all be present. My dream catcher is on the side. This is an envelope that has a spell that I did to celebrate all of the Sabbats this year. I made that a goal, and clearly we're off to a good start. This is going to be, it was originally going to be, I have two of them, my God and Goddess candle, but I didn't like the fact that they weren't the same height. So this is going to be my diminishing winter candle, and this one's going to be my inviting spring candle. So I thought that was a good use for them. The thing in the center, I was really excited about this. This is actually a pie plate that I got for $2 at Walmart. I was looking for one of like the giant floating candle bowls, but I couldn't find one, so I found a pie plate instead, which basically serves the same purpose because they're both glass bowls. I got the floral grass at the dollar store, and I got this rocks at the dollar store too, but I thought that it was a very good like awakening spring theme. And I made a spiral. It was really tight, so you can't really see it, but it is a spiral of candles. And there's 9 there because I'm doing a walking meditation later for ritual through all of the different points on the candles in the spiral. So it's a pretty decoration, and I thought that it, sorry, my upstairs neighbor is vacuuming and it's really loud. I apologize for that. I thought it was a really nice representation of Imbolc, and it's also really useful for ritual later. So I'll be doing that privately, not in front of you guys. This is a candle snuffer that I just kind of leave on my altar all the time. And I got this at the dollar store, which I thought was really pretty. They're daisies. I wanted to find snowdrops, but you can't find fake snowdrops anywhere. So I got white flowers because they reminded me very much of Imbolc. And I got this glass container to put them in, and then a bunch of just like little glass rocks to kind of like fill it up and make it look pretty. And that is my altar setup for Imbolc. So I thought I'd share that with you guys. So that is pretty much it. That's going to be my Imbolc celebration. I'll be doing my ritual a little bit later, and then my boyfriend and I are going to eat a soup that he made, which is very appropriate for Imbolc. It just happened to line up that we would be eating that tonight. And then I'm going to be making a cheesecake with a gluten-free pie crust, a obviously cheesecake filling, and then some strawberries on top. So that'll be really good, and that's pretty much how I'll be spending my night. It's going to be pretty low-key, but I figured I would share a little bit of how I'm celebrating, since this is A, my first Sabbath celebration, so I'm really excited about that, and B, just because I wanted to share a little bit more about my witchy life with you guys and start making videos a lot more often. Have a blessed Imbolc, and goodbye!